physics, art, and math guide us down this path. Historical tales come alive, where science and stories dive, blended facts with heart, knowledge from the start. MedBricks blues we sing to the future memory. Health and science in the mix. MedBricks got the fix. Complex subjects made
right
clear.
now
Every episode
in ways that we actually acquire
leads the way,
and ways that make me more efficient.
in the world of digital streams, turning knowledge into dreams. Through the tales of old, new stories unfold.
Thank you so much for joining with me. It is truly an honor and a privilege.
MedBricks Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our live podcast.
Hey, welcome to the MedBricks Webcast. This is Ramanandam Raju. I'm the host. Yeah, we have a really interesting guest today. So I have he's from a neck of my woods, but from back home in India. He's a physician. He's a very active physician in the Silicon Valley. I come to know him. I lived here for a while and went back to. I lived most of my life in Atlanta. Then I moved here. Then I come to know about him. Then I moved back and forth, and I come to know him. I attended a few of his seminars, and his annual conference he does, and then he does an in-person networking. So I met a lot of people there. Really, he brings a lot of great guests. So January 9th, to be honest, this is in the San Francisco is the epicenter of innovation, healthcare innovations. The JP Morgan, they claim to be, they know everything, but they bring San Francisco. There are a lot of big healthcare innovation summit here. Only you have to make to $100 million to make it to go there. I was a guest of a sidekick for some $100 million guy. I went there. I don't know what I learned. Nothing much there. Just everybody's keeping the money among themselves, I think. I don't know. Let me not talk about it. But that is not I don't think they're solving any problems of healthcare. In fact, I don't see any innovation ideas. If you wanted to see real innovative ideas, real things you want to see, you need to come to innovatorMD.com. That's my coming guest, Dr. Uli Chettipally. He's from, I told you that he's the founder of InnovatorMD. He's a doctor, he's a physician, emergency care physician. He worked for Kaiser Permanente for a long time. Then he did a lot of research. He's a researcher. He did a sepsis research. He did quite a bit of research. And then he came up with the new kind of innovative methods. And then technology. He started a innovatormd.com for the doctors to come, the place that they can come down all together and do the innovation. Because a lot of tech people, I can tell you, they don't understand healthcare. They go always tangent. With my experience here all over the country, I can tell you with the confidence, they go tangent. So you need another doctor to understand, and then you better learn. Doctors to learn technology a little bit better, much easier than the tech guy learn medicine. So let me bring Dr. Chettipally to the stage. Dr. Uli Chettipally is a physician, is in San Francisco Bay Area, founder of innovatormd.com. Welcome, Dr. Chettipally. Welcome to the MedBricks Webcast. You are a frequent guest. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
How are you?
Tell me about your background a little bit, if you don't mind.
Hey, thank you for having me, Ramana. It's a pleasure always to come talk with you and chat with your audience. This is a wonderful service you're doing for the healthcare community. So I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity. My name is Uli Chettipally. I'm an emergency physician. I went to medical school in Hyderabad, India. came to the US, went to UCLA, did my master's in public health and residency in emergency medicine. I came to the San Francisco Bay Area, joined Kaiser Permanente in South San Francisco. And over there, I spent a long career, initially on the administration side. I was the chairman of the department there. And then I switched gears into research, mostly technology-based research, and figuring out how can information technology, help physicians provide better care. And so I built a platform for clinical decision support. We published about 100 papers out of that work. And that platform is still active in the Northern California region, 21 hospitals, and about 1 million patients go through the system every year in the emergency departments. So it's all great. And then after I left Kaiser, I started InnovatorMD. InnovatorMD is it's a community of physicians, technologists, healthcare people, investors, students. The idea is that people who are on the front lines of healthcare, that is the physicians, nurses, pharmacists, that are on the front lines, see problems in healthcare firsthand, right? And then they come up with very interesting solutions. They come up with unique solutions, but then those solutions, it's hard for those solutions to go to market. So at InnovatorMD, we teach innovation and we teach entrepreneurship. We want to show them how you can bring your innovation to the market, how to get investment, how to start your own company. But before that, for physicians and nurses, they need to understand how the business of startups work, how the business of innovation works. And so that's why we bring in a lot of speakers, startups who will come and present, who will discuss their technologies, who will discuss their ideas and their projects, and inform people, but also inspire them so that they can go ahead and bring their innovations to market. There's a lot of learning, obviously, and people learn best when they actually hear and do things. So physicians have opportunities to get involved with the startups and be able to participate in these discussions, and also in the formation of companies as advisors and as mentors and as consultants. So there's a lot of give and take here, and it's a great community to join.
Dr. Uli, that you are also associated with, you did impressive work, on the research side, and in still Kaiser Permanente, you were one of the long-standing member of the Kaiser Permanente, staff member. Let me ask you a question about the thing that you're doing, Founder Institute, your relationship with the Founder Institute. What is that institute does, and what is your relationship with that institute here in San Francisco?
Sure. Founder Institute is the largest accelerator program. So it is in 90 plus countries. So there are many branches, or I should say cohorts, which are in different cities of the world. So what we did was InnovatorMD partnered with Founder Institute, and we run the health tech accelerator. So if you are into health technology and you could be anywhere in the world, you can join the accelerator because it is virtual. And we teach them systematically how to bring your startup up to the market and be able to raise money for your startup. So it's a great program, and it runs for 16 weeks. So you will learn everything you need to know about healthcare, health tech innovation, and be able to ready to bring your innovation to market. So it's a great program for early entrepreneurs, first-time entrepreneurs, to learn how to do it.
That only that you are doing a little bit of a very big summit, global annual summit you're doing. I attended a few of them. You bring stars of the healthcare you bring to your summit, and that one of them is Robert Pearl is the head of the CEO, former CEO of in the Kaiser Permanente, your old boss. So so you bring a lot of very innovative leaders to the community to talk about it. So tell us what you're doing during the same time as the JP Morgan summit. Tell us of the coincidence of that summit, and then what is that special innovator MD doing during the Global Healthcare Annual Summit?
So it's actually the week before or the weekend before JP Morgan Summit. We start on January 9th through 11th, 2025, and it's online. So you don't have to be present in person, although we have events during JP Morgan where you can come and meet us in person. We have a lot of panels and receptions happening during that time. But what I'm excited about is the lineup of speakers that come to Innovator MD conferences. We have Robert Pearl, Daniel Kraft, Anu Navani, Ignacio Medrano.
Talk about a little bit about Doctor. Just to mention about Robert Pearl, people who don't know anything about others outside of California. So
Yeah.
he's already well known. But give us a bit. Daniel Kraft also Singularity University. Just give us a little bit background of them, the speakers' background, please.
Yeah, Robert Pearl, he retired after being the CEO of the Permanente Medical Group, which is the Kaiser Permanente's physician arm. And he was the one who actually changed the direction of Kaiser Permanente. A long time ago, 20, 30 years ago, Kaiser Permanente was looked down as a low cost leader, which means that the insurance was cheap. So he turned it around and he said, let's bring the quality up so that we can price it appropriately. And now it is at the top of the leaders in California. It is the largest, it has a large market share. And Kaiser Permanente is everywhere in California. There's a Northern California group and a Southern California group. So he was running the Northern California group, where we have 21 hospitals and thousands of physicians, all specialties. And he did some amazing work. He has a very deep understanding of healthcare and how one of his pet peeves is how AI is going to change healthcare. When I was there at Kaiser, we were using technology that is very advanced to be able to improve patient outcomes. And so he's also a professor at Stanford University. He teaches at the business school, and he's a well-known expert in value-based care and the technology, how technology.
He is the author of the MD Chat GPT MD, right? He wrote a book
Yes,
about Chat GPT MD.
he wrote a book,
Very well-known book, and he's a very articulate leader. He writes a crisp, clear writings. He's one of them. I'm a great fan of him, and he was on my because of you. He was on my podcast also. Tell us, Daniel Kraft, a little bit about Dr. Daniel Kraft.
Yeah, Daniel Kraft. He started the innovation work when he first did the Society of Physician Entrepreneurs here in the Bay Area. So that's when I got interested in his work. And then he joined Singularity University as the faculty of medicine, as a chair of medicine at Singularity University. And he was talking about all these futuristic things that were going to happen. And, they are actually happening right now. And so he's a very well-versed futurist and also a very knowledgeable person in the innovation field. He can talk a lot about innovation, and his conference is called NextMed Health, and that he conducts in San Diego. That is something, where all the top brands of startups will be there, and very top national speakers. And so that is something that we partner with him on that. So he's an amazing speaker. So don't miss that.
You know that now the Anu Navani is a pain
Yeah,
physician, right? I met her one time. Then
Nilavani is she's a physical medicine doctor. She understands um, uh, the how to treat medical problems with stem cells. She's a stem cell expert, and also she runs a large group of clinics that take care of people with injuries and sports and spinal problems. So she's an amazing speaker, and she does amazing work. Um, so yeah, I mean these guys
yeah,
are really stars.
I met her and then her husband also. Let me ask you a question. There's what are the other topics you're discussing in the Innovator MD besides these speakers? What are the topics? Focus of topic or any particular topic is there?
Yeah. So one of the key, obviously, the hot topic is AI and how AI is going to change medicine. But also, how does this innovation help physicians? And are there any downsides of innovation? And how can it help physicians' work life get better, especially the burnout and the stress of doing a lot of the work that the machines can do, that AI can do, which hopefully will decrease the workload on physicians and hopefully decrease the burnout. We also discuss about the human side of medicine, right? It's not just the machines and technology, but also the human side. How will that affect? How will the policies affect? And that's why we see physicians and who are participating in the policy making, who are participating in the you know in the Congress. We do bring in congressmen, people who create these policies where the whole nation follows, right? How can we change or create policies which will help the patients and the physicians, and not just as a business, but also as a human benefit endeavor. And so you have Dr. Gautam Gulati. He's an expert in how to design homes so that your health is improved. Dr. Tran Tu Hyun, she's a startup founder. She's a surgeon who is well versed, and of course you have Dr. Harvey Castro. He is the original Chat GPT doc. He uses Chat GPT a lot, and he shows how things can be improved, processes can be improved. So there's a lot of
Paula Mito, Dr. Paula Mito, right?
Dr. Paula Muto. Yeah, she's very big on policy.
Policies.
How will policies affect uh, uh, physicians and patient care? And then we have Dr. Monica Jain. She's a partner at Wavemaker 360. She's an investor, and so we talk about the financial side of innovation. How do we get these innovations into the market? How can we get it funded? Wavemaker 360 is a great partner for InnovatorMD, because a lot of our startups, they look at those startups and see if they can fund them. Yeah, I mean, there are some amazing speakers. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
I
We
don't know
were
what the
all,
count is right now, but probably 40 plus speakers, I'm guessing.
yeah,
I
you have a
have,
lot of speakers, yes.
yeah. So over 3 days, starting at 8 a.m. And most of the morning to 1 p.m. for 3 days. That's what happens. And these speakers are amazing. If you want to get inspired about innovation, this is the place to be.
So talking about startups, you have your own startup. It's called Sarka Therapeutics, right? So can you tell us
Yes.
a little bit about that? Your startup, that you why you started that? What inspired you to start that? Just can give you some background on that, Dr. Uli.
Sure, sure. It's called Sirica Therapeutics, Sirica, Sirica. We have a daughter. Her name is Siri, and she was born way before Apple's Siri was born. And when she was 3, she was diagnosed with autism. And it was tough. This autism was very difficult to manage, because we didn't, the medical community didn't know much about autism at that time. And the only therapy we had available was ABA, applied behavior analysis. And so it was very challenging. And me being a researcher and a physician, I really looked into it, looked at all the possibilities, why it is happening, how can we treat it, what is the prognosis, how can we predict it. And so I went deeply into the research, and I was trying to find answers to, how can we treat this. And so one of the solutions came from how Siri, she got a lot of benefit from exercise. We found out that intensive exercise really helps with her regulation, with her behavior, and also her focus on education and other things. By the way, she is nonverbal, but now she's able to attend college. She's taking college courses. Um, she communicates using a letter board where she points to letters and be able to write essays and answers and takes tests and does homework. She gets all A's in her classes. So that is, we are very proud of her. But what she inspired in me is that how can we get people with autism to exercise and make that exercise into a therapy. So that was the basis and the inspiration for Sirica Therapeutics, where we are building an exercise machine which has virtual reality goggles and video gaming as part of the program, as part of the system. So when you're exercising, you are placed into a virtual game where, as you're exercising, you're actually riding a vehicle inside the game. And then you become a character in the game. And as the game progresses, as you're playing it, as you're riding this vehicle, you're also not only getting exercise, so you're challenged with physical exercise, but also a mental challenge like playing the game. And so we think that that will help people with regulation, which means that they're much calmer, their anxiety will be down, they sleep better, and also it provides an environment in the brain that improves neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is where new nerve connections are formed. And we have seen this technology help stroke patients. And that's how we realized, wow, this could work for autism patients too. And so that's what we are developing. We are raising our pre-seed round, and you can check it out at siricatx.com.
SherikaTX.com. Let us talk about a little bit general about autism, Dr. Uli, if you don't mind, because you did so much interest,
Sure.
personal interest he had. Why there is an increase in autism around the world? I mean, in United States, a dramatic increase. Tell us a little bit statistics and what you think, what do you guess, what are the causes of that, and is unknown still. What are the things we know about it? Is why it is so much now prevalent, or we are diagnosing more, or we are most of the scientists also kind of autism spectrum fall under the also autism spectrum.
Yeah.
One of the scientists I'm going to talk about it, she really, what is that, one of the things that is one of the great scientists of the mathematician of the century, she has that kind of a situation. So tell us a little bit about that, what is the
Yeah.
autism situation is.
So autism, or also known as autism spectrum disorder, it occurs. It is a neurodevelopmental disorder, which means that you're born with it, right? And so right now the prevalence is about 1 in 36 children have a diagnosis of autism,
That's
and
just
that is
staggering.
according to CDC.
Yeah.
Especially in the Bay Area, it's much higher
Mm.
for some reason. And so when people say that, well, autism is a spectrum, so there's the severe kind and there's the mild kind. And if you push the mild kind even further, it almost borders with normal. And one of the characteristics is being having intense focus on things. And that's how some people on the normal side who have an intense focus on working on problems, they become very smart and they're able to solve problems much easier. But when it comes to the other side, then the challenge becomes, number one, speech and communications are affected. Number two, socialization is affected. Number three, behaviors and motor activity is affected. So it becomes a major challenge when it becomes severe. And of course, it is a spectrum, so all stages are present. It has been increasing at a rate of 8 to 10% every year for the last 20 years. Nobody knows why. People blame all kinds of things. Oh, it
Me too.
must be
Not.
the chemicals, it must be the vaccinations, it must be the overdiagnosis, it must be genetics. All of those things could be true, but nobody knows exactly why it is happening now. And there is no proof that vaccines cause it yet. And there's no way to predict or diagnose it before it happens. There's no blood test or a scan to diagnose it. There is no drug treatment approved for autism other than generic drugs that you can use for depression and anxiety.
Dr. Oli, let us talk about a little bit of vaccines a little bit in this because a new healthcare secretary is coming under the staff. But one of the areas is that the the vaccine efficacy, vaccine studies, are they published? Everything is clear cut. All of them are open safety. If it's safety, or are they reviewing the safety on ongoing basis? Do
No, of
we have a,
course.
yeah?
Of course,
We
they're
have
all.
a complete transparency there in the vaccines.
Yeah, of course there is. People try to create these stories, the conspiracy theories, and all kinds of things. But imagine the miracle of building, the COVID vaccine, right?
Yeah.
In such a short period, such excellent, and kudos to those scientists who worked on this for a long time before we came to a stage where we are able to look at it. And there's no reason why, everybody has data right now.
Yeah.
Every healthcare organization has data. They can look at it and see what happens, to people who are vaccinated and people who are not vaccinated. And it's quite obvious,
We
especially if you go to the third world countries. If you go to anywhere else, they'll they'll tell you what happens if you don't get vaccinated.
we have to take independent aspect of the drug instead of drug companies pushing this one is independent safety, and also people like you should be. Let me ask you. Let us go back to your original innovator MD passion. You're a great. Not only you're a great doctor, you're a great father. That I can tell. You're talking about autism itself. Let us talk about a little bit innovatorMD.com. That is what is that, this in the registry, what the people get when they register, what they can expect from the innovatorMD.com, sir, Dr. Willie.
So innovatormd.com it's a membership organization. So physicians, startups, students, anybody can become a member. When they become a member, it's an annual membership. So for a whole year, all our events, all our talks, all our videos, they're all free. So it is a mission-driven organization. We want to give back to the community and build the community's knowledge and skills. And so all of these are free when you become a member. And physicians and nurses especially, they get continuing medical education credits, CME credits, when they attend our conferences or talks. So that's a big benefit. While you're learning, while you're networking, while you're communicating with all these, interesting people that come here to talk about their innovations, their projects, it is an amazing community that is very supportive, and you learn a lot.
I brought my sidekick Nazim. She's a dental surgeon. She's
Hi, Nazim.
just so she's going to be just helping me, to make it look better at this InnovatorMD conference. So yeah, Nazim, do you have any questions for Dr. Uli, and anything you're thinking about? What can you add? Actually, one of the areas they should add your field. In fact, innovatormd.com does in your field anything that is a new things that they're doing. Smile Club, Smile Club. That's the only thing we know. But anything else they need to add? Dr. Woolley, think about that Nasim's area where that you want to expand in the new kind of technologies.
Sure.
A lot of things we don't know. Dental side, there's a lot of things that are happening, and we don't know much about it, but things are really happening up there. Dr. Woolley, you're always pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
It is always a great. I attended your InnovatorMD conference several times, and it is truly a feast, and it is really a source of knowledge. I learned a lot, and I learned from your guests, and some of them became my guests. Thank you especially, and you're a great physician and innovator, and yourself, and then this conference is going to be a blast, and I highly recommend everybody. One of the things I'm going to present now, the topic, you have to probably run if you stay here, but you can listen.
No, I have to go.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to give it this woman from Germany that she's going to be, just when you get a chance, look at
Sure.
watch this one. But it is going to be very good. That's autism spectrum. She was talking about a voice symmetry that they are, but particularly very heightened. They have much more clear picture of the patterns more than normal people.
So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Before I go, I want to invite you and your audience to come to our networking event next Thursday next week.
Next Thursday, I'm going to publish that where the place is. Definitely,
yes.
Me and Nasim.
Go to innovatormd.com, and you can sign up there.
Innovatormd.com.
See you there.
Yeah, we can come to both of us.
Thank you
so much, Dr. Woolley. Thank you so much. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye, Dr. Woolley. So, hey, Nasim, I'm going to present, what I do is that this is, you're the first time you're probably seeing it. What I do is I interview doctors and all kinds of nurses and people like you. Then I talk about a subject related to healthcare, So today, I'm going to talk about historical figure, something about a new thing that I'm going to talk about. You're going to see that you're going to give me, and you can jump in anytime you wanted to, and then you can give me some inputs if you need to. So let me present the topic. It is going to be, let me add a new scene. Media. Yeah, let me get this one going. First, this is a side. Yeah. So it is. I'm going to talk. That is Dr. Uli Chettipally. He's always a good friend of mine. He's He's from this neck of my woods. Then I'm going to talk about a little bit about the symmetry, a loss of symmetry. What is us connected to the healthcare? Not only good smile looks symmetrical, but I'm going to bring on the side, we are going to be on the side, me and Nazim. Nazim is going to be my co-host now. So, Lord Shiva is Hindu god. It is actually displayed in the front of gates of the CERN, the Hadron Collider in Switzerland. Hadron Collider is a high accelerator, high velocity accelerator where they found a lot of new particles and new like a Higgs boson and all those places. They put this God's picture of a Nataraj, the dancing Shiva. The reason was one of them. They say that is the reason was it is a Lord Shiva is a representation of the creation, preservation, and destruction. It does all those things. He creates a universe, he preserves it, and then destroys it, and he creates again. That is a god, Hindu god. But in the structure, it is one thing that they notice in that structure is a symmetrical, a structurally symmetric with a circle around it, dynamic. Not only the dancing pose and the dance itself is a symmetrical, symbolic. Circular, very symbolism wise, is a very very powerful, symmetrical. What is symmetry? You may be wondering what is that symmetry means. If you see the flower, that is perfect in nature as a symmetry. If you see sunflower is a beautiful flower that's radially symmetric. That's a beautiful flower. Then you can call it a beauty. The diamond, perfect example of the diamond is a perfect symmetry. That's one of the examples of the nature creates. Actually, the universe created the diamond. Diamonds are not made in the earth. Actually, when the universe created in the beginning, that's when the hot temperatures are the highest. That's where the diamonds are created. It's not, you cannot create now. But that is a nature. Nature has a power to create the symmetry. So in the health wise, Leonardo da Vinci, he created a first picture of the human. He recognized the symmetry of the human is a bilateral symmetry. So what is the definition of the symmetry? Is the quality of being made up of exactly similar parts facing each other or around an axis. That's what the definition of the is a similar parts on the left side and the right side are similar parts. If you see, for example, heart is in the asymmetric. The position is asymmetrically in the left side, but the chambers, the upper ventricle and the lower chamber, upper chamber, the left ventricle, all of them are the left chamber, all of them are perfectly symmetrical in the heart. The lungs are symmetrical on the left side and right side. So that is a human creation. We're a bilateral. We walk through two legs. That is symmetrical itself. So actually, by ataxia, you can do that. So there is a lot of biological creation. The butterfly, for example, the two wings are exactly same on both sides. So that symmetrical color. In the medical, for example, chest X-ray that you do, they want to compare both of them left to right. A symmetrical side. Beauty, like Nazim on the left side, beautiful faces. If the left side equal to the right side is a more similar to the left and right, they're going to be beautiful woman, beautiful person in general. Is a functional. I'm going to talk about functional symmetry. Is why they teach a dance to the football players, because it's a symmetrical positions. It prevents injuries. That's why they do that. So one of the things is there is a lot of people say beauty is related to the symmetry. In fact, so if you take an axis, that's a Marilyn Monroe of Hollywood, Denzel Washington hero up there, and then this Indian that say this is the most beautiful woman in the world, but Aishwarya Roy, Indian actress. If you draw an axis on the right in the middle of the eyebrows, the left side is equal to almost looks like a more similar to the right side. If the more similar to the left and right, that is a more beautiful. That's what the definition of the beauty is in the symmetrical side. So that's a beauty comes from that symmetry of the face. Not only that, so actually, in the woman, this is done a research in the University of San Francisco. Women get a word orgasm with the men with the symmetrical faces. That's what they said. Even the honeybees really attracted to the beauty of the flower, not just the honey itself. The beauty of the flower, radially symmetrical flower. It looks at it and then goes there. It's a very strange, but the phenomena is very interesting phenomena there. So what is the So asymmetry if there is a faces or a symmetric fear of asymmetry, people get scared of people. If you see in the movies Joker or the Frankenstein, the left side is entirely different than right side. Asymmetric faces create a fear in us. So asymmetry the reason was asymmetry causes of people with the show aggression, depression, because the reason was there is a physical deformation is not because psychological. There must be some kind of a problem with the health itself. That's a deformation coming. Deformation comes from the health care, from the point of view. But we should not treat them. We have to treat them with a simple empathy, not be scared of them. But that is the prevalent picture in the history that they do. Obsessive compulsory disorder. I have a friend. If you see anybody with the refrigerator looks like that and the bathroom looks like that, run away from them. They are crazy. They are obsessively. The new research is coming. Obsessive compulsory disorder may not be psychological. It is the fear of asymmetry. They created a genetic disorder. Is a genetic disorder is the extreme fear of asymmetry. Any slight change of symmetry is not there. They're nervous. They're maybe it's a genetic disorder that asymmetry created for them. That is a genes maybe playing a role. So that is a obsessive compulsory disorder, maybe a genetic factor. That's one of the things they're saying is not may not be safe. A lot of people wash hands and then they, I have a friend in Philadelphia. When I go there, she drives me nuts. That she puts the refrigerator looks like that. If I change a little bit of one of the positions, if I take the milk carton and put in a different place, so she goes nuts. So these kind of people, that is a really problematic. It's not a psychological disease, maybe evolutionary disorder. That is. So one of the thing is also positive side of the autism. How do people with some of the autism spectrum people? You have a visual perception is a brain imaging, a functional MRI. They found out they have a very fun, strange way, exceptional quality of finding the patterns in the system with the people with autism. So exceptional abilities of people with autism spectrum can find eye tracking experiments. They did that, cognitive assessments. So they have a very powerful ability to recognize patterns that you cannot see, normal people cannot see. So let me go back to take you some other place. Einstein got a problem in physics. That is called the law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy is the first law of thermodynamics. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. But there is a problem there. The problem is that in the expanding universe, it is getting violated. That is a bigger problem. So he was a little bit, some people raises the problem is why that such a holy grail of the physics law, laws of physics, he violated that law. So then woman came to rescue, like Nazim. Her name is Emmy Nather, a mathematician and born in Germany, Bavaria, Germany, a Jewish woman. She is an insight into the symmetry. She came up with a very beautiful solution for this conservation problem. Mathematician came up with a problem of the Albert Einstein's. She's solving the Albert Einstein problem. Think about that. Woman came to rescue. What she said that is very interesting. Beauty is more fundamental than laws of physics. Laws of physics are emergent from the beauty. Laws of symmetry. The symmetry is more fundamental. The laws of physics come from the geometry of the physics. They came from the emergent. The laws of physics come from the emergence of the symmetry itself. Laws of physics may not be fundamental. So one of the laws she did is a snowflake. I can tell you about the snowflake is a radial symmetry. I can say rotational symmetry. If you take a snowflake, a perfectly snowflake is beautiful, right? If you take a snowflake and then moves around 360 degrees, any position, you cannot tell the difference. That is called a transformation. You cannot tell the transformation whether you take a left side 30 degrees or right side 90 degrees. You cannot tell the difference. But the snowflake, that is the previous snowflake to the next position. That is called a rotational symmetry. it's a property of the nature, is that when you move things, you cannot tell the difference. That is a rotational symmetry. It is actually something strangely connected to the laws of physics, universal laws of physics. Angular momentum is a very fundamental principles of the physics. So that's why figure skaters, they need to, for example, when they skate, they have to close the hands closer to them, because to conserve the angular momentum, otherwise they will fall on their butt. So that is angular momentum is a conservation of angular momentum is through rotational symmetry. There is a strange connection between the rotational symmetry, the symmetry of moving the anything that moves and it looks same, is the same as the conservation energy or laws of physics came out of that process. As strange as it seems to be, even for physicists, it is strange. So not only that, conservation of energy. So if you boil a water today or boil water tomorrow, it is going to boil. It's not going to stop boiling tomorrow. This very strange phenomena is the conservation of energy. In fact, that's the first law of thermodynamics. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It is not going to change the law because today or is different than tomorrow. That is actually the law came out of that, is the law of conservation of energy. So lots of symmetry. The geometry itself is the fundamental symmetry in the universe is more fundamental than the laws of physics. It's a philosophical, but it is a very powerful way of looking at their cheat sheet. Actually, all the laws of physics are cheat sheets for the laws of symmetry. So geometry and then beauty, they are very connected together. That's a symmetry. For example, translation symmetry is the conservation of momentum. You see rotational symmetry, and then time symmetry is the conservation of energy. All of them are symmetries. You can do symmetries, a geometry, basically. That's what it is. Left sides, the beauty, everything is defined through this kind of thing. So for example, breast cancer, structural symmetry in the breast cancer detection, they can do by comparing, people with the two different breast structures, with the symmetry is a violation, they're more likely to cause breast cancer. That's what one of the risk factors, in fact. If you want to be a good plastic surgeon or good dentist like Nazim, you need to understand the symmetry, reconstruction, anything you do, implants or anything like that. You have to understand reconstruction very well. That's so you need to understand the symmetry. Very important, geometrical symmetry. In orthopedics, for example, surgery, that is a very important. Prosthetics, if you design a prosthetics in orthopedics, you have to understand the symmetry very well. Otherwise, to be a good surgeon. So the next one is the functional symmetry. Why the football players they teach the dancing, ballet. The reason was to prevent the injury prevention. Is the symmetrical movements are very important for the football players. It is basically prevents injuries. When you have an injured player, they lose a lot of money. Drug discovery, they do functional symmetry is the protein folding. They do proteins create a lot of the molecules, and protein folding is one of the mysteries we solved recently. Why a protein folding, different folds create a different proteins, right? So amino acids fold. That's why the DeepMind in the Google did that. Actually, 200 million proteins it created. So it is a drug discovery is a symmetrical. There is symmetry involved in the laws of symmetry has to be followed. So psilocybin fractal symmetry, for example, you can psilocybin people to take this mushrooms and LSD and all these things. They see a visualization, a symmetry. They see gods and there are a lot of graphics, super graphics they see. But you can actually replace with the psilocybin with a virtual reality. You can create the same kind of thing kind of creative experience. We may have a solution without psilocybin, without a chemical reaction, without using substance. We can create a same thing with the virtual reality. The fractal geometry can create that fractals, that symmetry, fractal symmetry can create that experience. So human symmetry is a body of human wonder. Human body is the nature's wonder. That's connected with the universal laws of symmetry. So this is really, we need to appreciate the laws of symmetry. It is a really, thank you for watching. The woman that invented, let me give you that, 1 second. So Emmy Nather died in 1935. She moved from Germany. So she was actually a professor in the German university. Then during the World War I, they said that why she was a professor. Woman should not be a professor. They said what her boss, who is one of the famous mathematicians, said that this is not a Turkish bathhouse. They're learning the education. So that's what he said. And he stood for her. And then it's unknown, world ignored, history ignored this kind of people. Women are ignored in the history. What contribution she made is enormous. She moved to Philadelphia, Bryn Mawr College, and then Philadelphia, ashes on what they did when she died. She with the cervical cancer, she died, ovarian cancer, and then they buried her her ashes were actually spread across the Bryn Mawr College. Albert Einstein, the genius of our century, called her genius. She showed the path, the light to him. So she is the women were discriminated, women were not taken. Really, there's a lot of women contributed to science and medicine. We need to bring them. That's why I brought them. Thank you for watching. I'm going to bring a little bit now, bring Nazim back to the stage and ask her what she thinks about it. Okay, let me thank you all watching. This is, let me close this one. So Nazim, what do you think? Yeah.
Well, I mean, being an orthodontist, the first thing that we look at the mouth is the symmetry of the midline and the jaws and everything. And this topic resonated with me so much. The amount of you're such a multifaceted person, and the amount and the how you connect the ideas was fascinating. I personally think that especially this topic is everything. And I mean, as I said again, as an orthodontist, I really enjoyed listening, and I hope one day I can contribute more to your audience. And it was an honor for me to listen. And within maybe less than an hour, I learned so much.
Actually, there is a lot of people came from Iran. The polymath physician like Ibn Sena, all those people that they did contribute to this kind of a technology, this kind of mathematics and physics that today we are seeing is not powerful. Whatever they invented, the science is still same. We have a nice computers and all those things, but the science is a fundamental. That's what they did was even today. That is what we're enjoying. This technology is accelerating the pace. But basically, we are all people, different people contributed this kind of thing. We should not ignore the history. That's one thing I want to bring to history to the front lines, to teach them how powerful history of science is, how it contributed to the modern day sciences. That's, thank you for coming in. I need a person like you to talk about it. So usually that I present a topic this is Nazim, I started it when I started this kind of my talk show. I started 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago. When I started this one, I didn't know that how many doctors are going to like it. So I put a 20-minute talk, and then I present a topic on something with the physics, mathematics related to medicine. I thought doctors are not interested. One thing I learned it from you, people like you and other Dr. Uli, Doctors are in general curious people. That's why they went into the medicine, they went into the dentistry, they went into other medical field, because the reason is they are curious people in to start with, right? You're very curious people. So I brought that childlike curiosity, bring it back, and it really caught up with the people, and I got a very good traction, and a lot of people watch my program. Thank you, and that's a big honor to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. And thanks for also, beside like putting all these together and bringing guests, which of course is valuable. Also, thank you for the person who you are, Ramana. I'm very lucky to get to know you and connected with you.
Thank you so much. Good night, all of you. I'm going to stay same place, stay same place. Nazim, I'll talk with you. But that. Thank you all for joining. Don't forget to MD, Dr. Uli Chettipally's program. It's a really fascinating. You need to attend. And then if you have a time to come down, and if you are in the Bay Area, please attend this next Thursday. You can do Burlingame and the Hyatt near his office, the beautiful in-person meetings, and go to innovatormd.com. You will find all those information. Thank you all. Good night, and good night, all of you.
We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it.